Hello, good evening, everyone. Session will start in a minute. We are already here. Good to see so many people already showing up today, tonight, this morning, or wherever you're from. Welcome to this second workshop/webinar at NFT Vision Hack. This time we'll be covering the second track, which is NFT payment solutions, which is the track by Circle, which is the company behind the US dollar coin, or USDC, and a really exciting workshop given by Gee Chuang. Hope I pronounced that correctly. He's based in Skatos and joining us from California today. So yeah, in the meantime, just let us know where you're from in the chat, by a show of hands. Always very interested to see, where all the people that join these workshops, joining us from. Here we have Goran from London. Hey, Goran. Then we have Anthony from Boston. Fantastic. Hello, Anthony. How are you today? And we have iPhone from France. That's pretty cool. We have somebody from Mexico. It's literally all across the globe. Someone from India. Oh no, everybody from India is coming forward. That's fantastic. Nice. 64 people already in the room. That's great. So I will hand it over to Gee Chuang and Malcolm from Gibraltar. Hey, Malcolm, how are you? And yeah, Gee Chuang, I would say looking forward to this today, and I would say over to you.
All right, thank you. Hopefully everyone can hear and see me okay. All right, cool. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all having a good day so far. My name is Gee Chuang, and I'm a product manager at Circle. I oversee the development of our APIs, and today I'm going to talk about how you can leverage our services and build a modern payments experience for your NFT product or marketplace. So I'm sure with the audience we have today of hackers and builders, we've all witnessed NFTs going mainstream over the last year. We've seen companies like NBA Top Shot receive a tremendous amount of well-deserved attention from both collectors and the media. Other examples are, well-known artists and musicians have also found ways to put out creative new forms of content through NFTs as well, things that previously weren't really possible. We've also seen, companies, celebrities, and athletes also respond very quickly to the recent surge in interest. I think, taking a step back, some are treating this as a sort of marketing opportunity, and maybe they're trying to capitalize very quickly on the latest trends. But whenever I attend these sorts of events and talk to the people, I find that most of you here, like us, are taking a more thoughtful approach. We're seeing the longer term value around NFTs. We see the potential that things like programmable collectibles, programmable assets, and programmable property rights have, the same way Circle sees programmable money as a super empowering tool. And I think all of us are looking to build out completely new products, services, and experiences, really gearing it for delivering long-term value to users and the community. So at Circle, we're all about building for the long term too. And we think that part of that sustained success that you're looking for as you build out your NFT product comes from having a really seamless user experience. And today's focus, in that space is specifically around payments. So my goal today is to introduce you to Circle's APIs and show you how our digital and crypto native payment solutions will fit right into your NFT marketplace. So first, a little bit of intro about Circle and what we do. You probably know about USDC. We're the world's leading fully reserved regulated stablecoin. Along with Coinbase, Circle is a founding member of the Center Consortium. We developed and launched USDC in 2018. We've seen tremendous growth over the last year, related to NFTs, related to DeFi. And we find ourselves today, I think, just north of 26 billion USDC in circulation across 5 different chains. Perhaps a lesser known product or offering that Circle has is, we also help companies leverage USDC and blockchain technology to create flexible and powerful payment solutions for their businesses. As you'll see throughout the rest of this presentation, we help companies bridge the on-chain ecosystem, meaning your NFTs, your customers' wallets, with traditional payment rails, giving your company and your customers a lot of flexibility when it comes to how they want to transact with you. So a great example that showcases our APIs at work is Dapper Labs. I mentioned NBA Top Shot earlier. Many of you probably either are users or casual observers of what they're doing. But if you're like me, you've probably spent a lot of time, many attempts waiting in line for pack drops. This is when they drop a new product. Hopefully, like me, you've made it through a few times. And if you've ever gone through NBA Top Shot, used your credit card, used your debit card, or wired money in, then you've actually been indirectly benefiting from their integration with Circle's APIs. So using our APIs, Dapper Labs through CryptoKitties and Top Shot has built their entire checkout flow on top of our crypto native infrastructure. All their users' card payments, bank transfers settle as USDC, which allows Dapper to use those funds in very flexible ways. Another example, probably a lesser known up and coming project, is a company called Tsuku. I found out just recently that they're located in the same town as myself in Los Gatos, where Netflix also is famously. In any case, they're launching an infinite marketplace. It's an NFT platform where they're collaborating with leading recording artists, sneaker designers, other types of designers to drop really unique limited edition content. They also have part of their product where they're working on verifying the authenticity of products, both on-chain, both digital and physical, and bringing that forward. So similar to Dapper, Tsuku uses our APIs to accept card payments, as well as ACH transfers in the US and also international wires. By combining USDC settlement with their existing NFT infrastructure, Tsuku's community can buy, sell, and manage their collections completely on crypto native infrastructure. There's no touching of fiat currency once it enters the platform. And then when they're ready, Tsuku's users can withdraw funds through wires back to regular dollars. So really simple on-ramps, really simple off-ramps. But when you're on their platform, when you're in their ecosystem, whether it be the NFTs or the balances you carry, everything is crypto native. So with Circle's APIs, Tsuku's goal was really to abstract the complexity around, how do I pay with my hardware wallet? How do I get my first USDC? How do I get ETH? And really just using our convenient APIs to build really, really smooth on-ramps. I think they're in beta right now, but I think it's something for everyone to kind of look out for and kind of just follow. So I'm going to go through a few sample flows, but before that, I think it's helpful just to introduce our APIs at a high level, talk about the different objects that are involved, and explain why I think these types of payment solutions that we have fit really naturally into your NFT products. So along with a few other resources, the core building blocks of our APIs are wallets, payments, and payouts. Wallets exist under our accounts APIs. So wallets are at the core of those APIs. The accounts API section you see here, they allow you to build out digital wallet infrastructure for your business. We'll get into that a little bit deeper shortly, but essentially think about it as being able to create one wallet for each of your end users, and it carries their balance. Payments up next represents the credit card charges, the bank transfers from your users and buyers. Anytime someone is paying for something, anytime someone is topping up their balance, that's a payment. Payouts, meanwhile, are when you send funds off the Circle platform. So let's say a seller wants to, cash out their funds, whether that's, on-chain, whether that's off-chain to a bank account. Those are our payout objects. So if you're participating in NFT Vision Hack today, your end product is likely an NFT or the marketplace or ecosystem around an NFT. The NFT token is of course native to the blockchain. So it inherits all of the benefits of being on chain that we're all so fond of and familiar with. I think in an ideal world, in a future world, we all hope that the payments aspect is also very crypto native. People have USDC. People are bringing crypto for payments. And certainly from what we've seen, and I think probably from what you've seen as well, you've probably participated in NFT marketplaces as both a buyer and seller. Your more forward-thinking users, your more forward-thinking customers might already be holding USDC. So for those customers that are already kind of living in that future world, our APIs also allow you to process on-chain payments and payouts that settle within minutes. Payments are irreversible once sent on-chain. And so, that's very attractive from a point of view that there's no chargeback risk. And it really mirrors how your NFTs are being transferred. Transferring an NFT from one user to another, you can't claw it back after. It's great when your payments settle with finality, and also you can't get a chargeback later on. And lastly, I think a huge benefit of the USDC payments that we allow you to build is that they're denominated in USD. You can essentially combine on-chain payments with a really consumer-friendly way to price things. Of course, not to kind of say anything against ETH as a payment mechanism or BTC as a payment mechanism. Those certainly have their demographic. Those certainly have their value for crypto savvy audiences. But as you look to expand your user base, using USD pricing, I think unlocks a lot more people. So I was talking a little bit about that future world where people are already holding USDC, where people know how to do crypto payments. Before we reach that future state where everyone's holding USDC or any other asset on chain, we need to make sure that we play nice with existing fiat rails, people's cards, people's bank accounts. So alongside our USDC payments, Circle also supports a variety of traditional payment methods like credit cards, debit cards, ACH transfers, wire payments, with more to come later this year and early next year. So with a single integration, you can serve both your crypto savvy USDC holders, Bitcoin holders, ETH holders, as well as mainstream audiences, people with debit cards, bank accounts. And providing this type of optionality and choice for your buyers, for your users is very subtle, but we think it's super important as a part of a really good checkout flow, a really good payments experience, letting users come with the payment methods that they prefer to use and letting them use them all with a single integration. So I'm going to go through just a couple examples of flows using our APIs. I try to stay somewhat high level, but let's first walk through our simplest flow where a buyer purchases a product with their credit card, and at a later time, the seller withdraws their USD to a bank account. I see one question, just because it's in line, can we accept any card? Circle today supports MasterCard and Visa. Let me see if there's any other USD payments supported on different chains. Yeah, so USDC payments supported on all 5 chains that USDC is on today. So that's Ethereum, that's Solana, that's Stellar, that's Algorand, and it's also Tron earlier this month. So with our APIs, you can create addresses where consumers need to send USDC to those addresses. The really cool part about our APIs is that we don't give you a Tron USDC balance and a separate ETH USDC balance that's separate from your Solana USDC balance. When you receive USDC from your customers or from yourself, it's all just a single pool of USDC, which you can instantly send on chain, for example, to a completely different chain. So I can receive Stellar USDC, send it out as Solana USDC. We handle the balancing for you. We essentially make you think of USDC as kind of a chain agnostic tool, as long as it's sitting within the Circle platform. So for the KYC piece, our product today doesn't offer KYC services, although that's something we have a lot of feedback about. So stay tuned there. But I think right now the stance is that as the marketplace, you would need to provide that level of verification. So here, again, this kind of not even really pseudocode. It's just like, you know, truncated API calls, but our API documentation is pretty concise and clear, so I don't think there will be a problem understanding it. But I just wanted to kind of introduce the different objects that you'll be creating to create payments. So as you might imagine, you know, create a card. That's the first thing you might need to do to accept a card payment. So you post all the, you know, the sensitive data in an encrypted way. You provide the billing details, expiration month and year. That essentially comes back and gives you a saved token for this card, the highlighted ID there on the bottom. And then you can reuse this card in different payment transactions. Once you have a card or a different funding source, it could be an ACH account, it could be a bank account. You know, next step, create a payment. So which payment source are you using? How much USD are you trying to transact? That'll come back instantly, most likely with a pending status. So our payments go through a couple statuses. It starts as pending, but what we have set up and what I think anyone should really leverage is our webhook/notifications architecture. So instead of having to keep polling to say, hey, did that payment go through? Did that payment go through? Did that payment go through? Set up the webhooks endpoint on your side, and we'll ping you anytime there's a status change with the payment. So when the payment moves to confirmed, we'll hit your webhook endpoint. When the payment settles, which means the fund settled and you got the money, you'll get another notification to that endpoint. Just to quickly go in here, confirmed is essentially something that'll happen within minutes. It's just your guarantee that that payment will succeed through that card. Settlement happens a couple of business days later, but at the point where you see that a payment is confirmed, that's kind of your signal to proceed with the customer with a successful transaction. Just glancing at so these are REST APIs. Payment on a specific due date, you would have to kind of handle that on your side. There isn't someone sent me a direct message about that. So we don't have the capability right now to say, I want to charge on the 5th of every month, or I want to charge on the 30th of this month. You would have to kind of build that function yourselves. But, you know, really good feedback. Message us in the channels with your use case, and I'm happy to kind of chat more with you about that. So you take a payment after creating a card. Your next question is probably like, how much money do I have in my merchant account right now? You fetch the balances endpoint. We tell you the balance that you have that's available. We tell you the balance that's unsettled. So unsettled in this case, if you think back to the last slide, we had a credit card payment. It starts off as confirmed, which means it's successful. It'll settle 2-3 days later. At the point where it settles, you've been given the funds. You'll see, for example, this $20 move up to 50, and you'll have $70 available. Once it's available, you can use it to fund an on-chain transfer. You can use it to fund a wire payout. Mikhail, yes, I am. I'll say hi later, so you can kind of know which user I am. So similar to payments, sorry, payouts use the same funding sources. Of course, you know, not all funding sources can be used for payouts. We're working on adding additional payout methods, like paying out to like a debit card, for example. But today, as is, we can't pay out to a credit card, for example. But here you'll see I can pay out the destination object here to an ACH bank account. ACH, for those outside the US, is kind of a bank-to-bank transfer method here that we have in the US, similar to maybe SEPA in Europe and other payment methods in other countries. So if you're US centric, we connect with Plaid. So Plaid handles the authentication of the user's bank account information. That reduces things like typos. It reduces things like sending money to the wrong bank account. It helps with things like knowing who the account holder is. It helps with things like making sure the ACH account has sufficient funds before you try to initiate a payment, for example. But in this case, we're using the ACH account as a payout destination. So that's where the funds are going. So you're funding it from your wallet, which is a source you see here. So to kind of give some context, this is an example where a seller has sold an NFT, let's say, that they bought previously, let's say for 100, and now they sold it for 300, let's say. And then they want to withdraw the funds to their bank account. This is the type of API call you would use. Again, you would use Plaid, and we have good guys for that to help them link that account. But it's just a simple API call to start that off-ramping from crypto to fiat. So the PII, certain aspects of it are encrypted. That's like the sensitive credit card data. Other items like the address are not masked in transit though. So the last example you saw, I'll pop back to the last slide. That's paying out to like a bank account. Other users of yours, may very well want you to send them their funds on chain, maybe to their Coinbase wallet address or their, address on, I don't know, Binance or FTX or something. So for that, you can very easily create an on-chain transfer. So you create a transfer here, the source, who's funding it, it's a certain wallet. The destination, you say it's a blockchain destination. Here's the address. Here's the chain that it's on. So alluding to like a previous comment, it could be a Solana address, it could be a Stellar address, it could be a Tron address. So with address and chain, I know Stellar has an additional field like an address tag or a memo. And for that one, you add that here as well. This will initiate an on-chain transaction for 300 USD, which will not settle, but it'll send 300 USDC on chain. We give you the transaction hash. We wait a fixed number of confirmations, and it depends on the chain. And that status will move to complete when the number of blockchain confirmation has been reached. So for example, you can either look at our own status to determine when there's finality, or if you want, you can look at the transaction hash yourself and decide that. So the next level sort of is, we've talked about payment methods. We've talked about creating payments. We've talked about creating payouts, both on-chain and fiat. The next level of integration you could choose to pursue is introducing user balances. So we talked about this earlier. Under our accounts API, we have the concept of wallets. As a customer of our API, you naturally have a default wallet. We call it your master wallet. When you take credit card payments, that's where the funds settle. At the same time, you can create, wallets for any purpose that suits your business needs. You could create 1 or 5 for your company's purposes. You might ultimately create 1 for each of your end users. So in a case where you have a marketplace and people can buy and sell NFTs, maybe people can top up their balance. Maybe they can have some stored value there, so that when it comes time to checkout, it's a very one-click instant payment experience. So what we found, and I think what I want to share with you, is that when you have balances, when you have users have balances on your app or site, that creates a sense of stickiness. They have an unused amount of money. They might end up they might have $5, see something that is $10, and then want to use that 5 and then have to supplement. So anytime there's like a balance concept in a marketplace, we've seen that improves the stickiness of the users a lot, specifically buyers. And so for those balances, people can use all of the payment methods we talked about earlier. They can use credit cards, they can use debit cards, they can use bank transfers, they can even send in USDC that they already have. And all of this leads to the transaction time when they are at checkout. Instead of having to pull out their credit card again, or instead of having to see the Ethereum address that they have to deposit to, if they've already pre-funded their account, it just leads to really, really smooth payment experiences. See if there's any questions. So the Plaid integration is a separate integration. However, if you're familiar at all with Plaid, I'll kind of just go into it very quickly. You integrate with their, I believe it's called Plaid Auth, where on your side, you send your user to their banking portal, for example, Chase or Bank of America. They enter their credentials. And what you get back is a token that you give to us. So you never have to handle the customer's bank account number. You give us the token and we can use that token to talk to Plaid directly to get the routing number and the account information. So to answer your question, it's a separate integration you have, but there's an integration in that in order to create a bank account, an ACH account using Circle APIs, we need that Plaid processor token. So our APIs understand Plaid and you need to use Plaid on your own, but there is that connection. So for Joao dos Santos, I'm not too sure. We don't have an integration with Stripe or other from the crypto space. If you want to clarify your question a bit, I might be able to answer that better. Fraud-related use cases supported. Onchain doesn't support chargebacks. That's true. We have chargeback. I mean, our APIs understand chargebacks and returned ACH payments for all the fiat rails. I don't know if that sufficiently answers your question. We don't have anything additional for on-chain payments to support chargebacks. So kind of lost my place. Okay, so if you want to create a wallet for each of your users, similar to posting, API call posting to cards or payments or payouts, you would just post to wallet. That gives you a new wallet. So you can add your own description. So this is my wallet for user ID 100. We give you a wallet ID back. And of course, the balance starts with 0. What are you able to do with that wallet once you have it? You can say, hey, I need a new Ethereum. I need a new Ethereum address to deposit USD for this wallet. And we'll say, okay, here's address 0x, blah, blah, blah. It's for USD and it's on this Ethereum chain. You can give that to your user, say, deposit your funds here. When you do that, after the correct number of blockchain confirmations and you query the balance of this wallet again, you'll now see that this wallet has that balance, and that balance is separate from other wallets that you've created. That balance is separate from the master wallet's balance. So it really lets you create essentially just an account or a wallet for each of your end users, have all of those amounts or sums of money be handled independently. Similar to the previous example of sending money on chain, when you receive money on chain, and this is probably the more useful use case for notifications, we'll tell you, excuse me, we'll tell you when incoming USDC is confirmed. So you'll get a webhook notification that says this wallet received this amount of USD and it's met the required number of blockchain confirmations. So, okay, for VJ Taylor, can we prevent chargebacks? No, chargeback risk is there. We have a variety of risk and fraud related tools to try to minimize that. For example, simple things like requiring CVV is something you could choose to do. For other payments, requiring 3DS as like a second step for authenticating that the user is the correct user is also things you can do. We don't have a holistic chargeback free product, although similar to my previous comment, message us VJ because it's something that we are thinking about. So understanding your use case better will be great. Just really quickly, are we keeping the wallet secrets on their behalf? So these wallets are not what you're probably imagining as a single address and a single wallet. If you look here, I can create an address for this wallet. I could post back to the same endpoint and get a different address. And the use case there might be, let's say I'm creating a very lightweight banking app and each of my customers has a wallet. One of my customers wants an address to share with their friend to say, hey, pay me here. you might create one address for them, and if they want another friend to send them USDC, you might create a different address for them. So the wallet on Circle side is not really a single on-chain address. It's kind of a single balance existing on Circle's own ledger that has many different abilities to get funded. You can have 5 Ethereum addresses that'll all settle in that wallet. You can have 3 Solana addresses that all settle in that wallet. There isn't a single public address where anyone can query and say, here's the balance of that address. And that's sort of, in a way, that's things that customers have wanted, because it gives them things like multi-chain USDC, where they don't have to worry about a single chain or a single address. A wallet kind of abstracts all of that away. Is there a 2FA verification code sent to the user post taking the card details? So yeah, with the 3DS approach, when you specify 3DS, I don't think you can control exactly that 2FA is the mechanism. But from what I've seen, oftentimes, if you use 3DS as a verification method, and by the way, that's coming over the next month or so, so you can look out for that as well. Most of the time what that does is it'll send like a push notification or a text message to the customer with a one-time passcode. They'll provide that passcode when they check out, not when they check out, but as like an additional step, and that'll move the payment to a completed state. Okay, so here we went through, creating an address, receiving USDC, wallet to wallet payments. So imagine user A has a wallet, user B has a wallet. They transact or they send money from one person to another. You can send money from wallet to wallet using our APIs as well. These are instant because if you kind of look at it, it's not necessarily sending from one on-chain address to another on-chain address. It's not specifying which chain the USDC is on. So these are just kind of internal transfers from one wallet to another. And our whole goal here is to provide very primitive APIs where you get a lot of flexibility to build the type of product that you need to build. So this could be a purchase, for example. This could be me sending money to a friend on the platform. So I mean, with that, we've gone through cards, we've gone through like creating bank accounts, payments, payouts, creating wallets, creating addresses for those wallets, moving money between wallets. There's no limit on the number of wallets you can have. I'm not super familiar right off the top of my head in terms of like pricing, but in the sandbox environment and for the purposes of this hackathon event, there's no limit on the number of wallets you can have. We have large customers with many wallets, if that helps. With the basic elements, so I mean, with all those basic elements that I just walked through, you can easily imagine how our APIs can power much more sophisticated flows. Everything I've kind of walked through is sort of a primitive transaction. We don't try to assume too much about your use case. So for example, I can imagine any of you creating, an NFT marketplace, that's very peer-to-peer, where buyers can transact with sellers. People can grow their collections. Someone can sell. Let's say they open a pack. Let's say your product is a pack, and I mean they can list. They can bid on others' NFTs. On your side, you would handle the NFT kind of ownership. But without really needing to build your own accounts or a wallet infrastructure or on-ramps or off-ramps, you can use Circle APIs to build that whole marketplace, and Circle will help you provide the whole kind of account or payments infrastructure for that. With the examples we've walked through, I think what you could build is a solution where buyers have really great flexibility in terms of their payment method, on-chain, off-chain, existing balances, topping up with an existing balance. For sellers also, it's about flexibility as well. They can keep their funds on the platform. They're not required to instantly cash out. That could be great if they're active buyers themselves. For example, I've bought CryptoKitties, I've sold CryptoKitties, I've bought NBA Top Shot Moments, I've sold NBA Top Shot Moments. Or they can always withdraw their funds on chain directly to an exchange, directly to a hardware wallet, or to their bank account. So I think the recurring theme here is really just, flexibility. We don't want to assume that your users are crypto native. We don't want to assume your users aren't crypto native. We just give you all the tools to build the solution that you want. So I know the hackathon lasts for maybe like a month or so. I think it's end of August. Is that correct?
Yeah, so, exactly. So 30th of August is the end date.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So I think that's plenty of time to build something super cool. We'll be here to help you if you need. So as you think about building out your NFT product or marketplace during this event, as you think about how important a flexible payments experience is for your customers, think of us, think of the APIs that we provide and that we just walked through. What we really want to focus on doing is help you bridge the crypto and the fiat worlds, reach a large audience, give your buyers and sellers choice, and just let you not worry as much about the whole wallet infrastructure, the on-ramp, off-ramp side of things, and really focus on the aspects of your product that'll set you apart from the competition. There's so much new going on in NFTs, use cases, composability, that we really want you to focus on that piece and let us handle the payment side of things for you. So thanks for listening. I hope you all learned a little bit more about our APIs. I kind of tried to stay somewhat high level, but feel free to go deeper into the documentation. Feel free to message me on any of the channels that we're on. I think on Slack and Discord, the channel name is the same, which is nice. So if you're building something, I think the first thing to do is visit our sandbox link above. We can post that in the channel as well. If you've got questions, as I mentioned, we have detailed references and guides. You can chat with, I think it's maybe not just me in our Slack and Discord servers, but maybe other team members as well. But yeah, thank you again for listening. I hope you learned a good amount about our APIs, and I hope you have a great time during this hackathon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gee. I think that was really, really, good learning. I think you kept it at the exactly right level, right? Not too high, not too low. I think very, very good starting point for the participants in our hackathon. I think we had a lot of good questions already, during this session, and I think you managed to answer them very well, right, in between. So, without losing the flow. I know it's not always easy to do that. So good job there. And yeah, so guys, if you have more questions, right, Gee and the team is on Slack, they are on Discord, just shoot your questions there. And, we make sure to connect you to the right guys and, have your questions answered in no time. Just ping us if you have project ideas, if you need feedback, if you need help. And we always make sure to kind of connect you with the right mentor, right? I'm very excited about this track, right? Because it brings the off-chain crowd of people, right? It brings them closer to the cryptocurrency community, right? Currently only a handful of people, right? Less than 0.1% or so, from what I understand, are really familiar with transacting on chain. So still a lot of ground to cover. So with what Circle has done here by kind of coming up with all these APIs and kind of connecting the outside world, let's call it like this, with the crypto native folks, and kind of allowing outside people to kind of get interested, buy stuff in the crypto world, and not just NFTs, but also NFTs, right? It's a great way to onboard people. It's a fantastic thing. So, thanks a lot for that. And yeah, great workshop, a great presentation. Thank you so much for that, Gee. And then, yeah, looking forward to a lot of great solutions, a lot of great things, cool things coming out of this hackathon. So yeah, ping us on Slack, ping us on Discord, and we make sure to be there for you and help you out with things. All right then, that's it. Thanks everyone for attending, right? And we see you again if you're interested in our next workshop. Will be held next week Monday. Next week Monday, it's the IPFS and Filecoin workshop for our track, right, gaming and NFTs. So, be there, be square next week, Monday. I think it's July 19th, 1 p.m. UTC. So looking forward to seeing all of you that are also interested in that track over there as well. And yeah, ping us on Slack if you have any questions. Thank you so much. Goodbye.